Hi everyone, it's Eddie here at Eddie Makes Art, and there's been a lot of chitter chatter in certain live streams about pups. What the hell is that? What's a pup? A pup is a pick-up paper. So those are the papers that you use when you're jelly printing to clean up your edges or to, pick up extra paint. You may have them on tissue, you may have them on, paper like this, packaging paper, whatever, printer paper, whatever. Gather those up and make a beautiful collage that you can use for all sorts of stuff. So, this was started, over at PM Artist Studio by Patricia, and she just started gluing down strips of these really, like you can see, like this one in particular. I cut some off already because I was, I think I used it I used it here. You can see that blue paint. So, when you're using these sheets and you keep adding layers of paint, you get some really cool things going on. You'll see. Like here, you get that really cool dendritic pattern going along there against the gold. And just some interesting textures and markings. Like, you could see this was part of a stencil, but, it looks part of the whole thing. Like it was meant to be there. So I went through a significant stack of these pups that I have, and I selected a few that I thought would work well together and give me a good variety and to make some fun collages. And so this is the one I did last night. And you can see there's a nice variety in there. And I had to do a little patch-up work here because this piece of tissue just wasn't long enough. So I just added in a piece from another one of these strips and just had fun with it. My goal was not to create anything for anything specific. I just wanted to give this method a try. And here's another thing. Sometimes you'll need to go back in with a little bit of extra glue and touch up the edges, but that won't affect it. Just a little touch-up work. So, I know Paula Keene, who is a fellow designer, and she's over in Makers Facebook, over on the Makers of Mixed Media over on Facebook. And she created these really cool African women dolls that have these wonderful pattern outfits, right? Very colorful. And it's because she created it by using cutouts of this type of thing. So, now Patricia over at PM Artist Studio, she kind of glued the strips of tissue to each other without a backing, but I know that I would probably want something a little bit sturdier. But I didn't want to make it like thick. I didn't want to use cardstock. So I have this packaging paper here that's pretty thin, and I use that to as my base. So I glued onto there, and I cut the paper roughly 12 by 12. But see, you can make a really cool journal cover if you want to leave it whole. You fold up that bit. You got a pocket inside, and that makes a really nice journal cover. You could do all kinds of ephemera if you wanted to. Cut out shapes. You can all kinds of stuff. So I think it's a great way to use up those clean up papers that you have laying around from all your, fun gel printing. So gather some papers and let's play along. Play along with me. Okay, so I've got my blank craft paper here. I'm going to use my Elmer's. I should get this brush out of the water. And as Patricia recommends, when you use a brush to glue, start with it, wet, not dry. All right, so I've got that ready to go. And the other thing, if you're using wet strength carnival tissue, it can be very hard to tear. Also, it can be torn, but you've got to find the right, in which direction the grain goes. So typically I'll just, to figure that out, I just kind of like go like this. All right, see how that's ripping nice and straight? Okay, if I were to do it this way, it would not. So like if I do this, you see how much more jagged that is? That's because it's not meant to rip that way. This is the way that the grain, I guess, goes. So you want to find that part and you can rip that way. You can use a rotary cutter. I know Paula probably uses one of these. You can use one of those. If it's just regular tissue, yeah, you can definitely tear that up. Just be careful because it's usually thinner. But so these are all on Carnival, wet strength tissues. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my best to tear it first. And if it's not working, I'll just use the rotary cutter and cut into it. Cut my strips off that way. So I'm thinking, I'm going to start with this side here. That's nice gold and blue with some of that dendritic pattern. So I'm just going to start from here. I might just add this to help me along. Keep it from, tearing into weird shapes. There, that's not bad. And of course, it's it's going to be much longer than the paper, but I have a choice of this end, you can change it up. I'll do a couple more from this one, and then get some other ones from the other pups. So let's see here. Let's get some of this, because some of this would work for our project. All right, that's 1, 2. We'll do this one here. That's a nice strip there. Yeah, I'm not even paying attention to see if it's straight or not. I don't think that should be something to worry about. There, and then we'll do one more. I like this right here. So let me just tear this off. All right. So maybe I set this with these. So I kind of like that, right? So I'm gonna tear it this way and just get rid of this side. Come on. what I mean. Let me just flap it around so I can get a better angle on it to cut it. I'm just gonna use the rotary cutter so I don't ruin it anymore. Always be careful with these. Keep them locked when you're not using them because it's wicked sharp. Wicked sharp. All right, lock. Remember, you only go in one direction. I go slow, just especially for that. You know, I got to get past my finger from holding the ruler. Yeah, I know I should get a much bigger, like one of those, like a quilting one where it's like a big piece of plastic, but I'm not there yet. All right, so that's a lovely piece. Very cool. All right, so there. I got some extras over here left over from that first one. So I'm gonna add that to that pile and I'll make some more later. Here we go, this is a nice one. Now which way does this tear? Look at that, that's perfect because I want that there. That's for sure. So let's see here. The key is to get a good pressure on the part that you're tearing. Tear this way towards you. It'll tear much easier for you. Ooh, look at that. And it's fun seeing, like, when you isolate sections of these papers, you see some really cool things that you didn't see before, right? So, like, look at that. Love that. And then this bit right here, where it's like, it just kind of looks like a landscape. Love that. I was noticing that last night as I was cutting some strips, that you see more details when they're in smaller pieces. And I love that. Oh, this one was already torn because it got stuck to itself, so that wasn't my fault. Nice piece. And then maybe here. Let's get this side. Now I don't mind the blank, you know, the actual tissue where there's no paint. That is good for when you're layering them, because I do overlap them. And so you get to show more of your strip. But you do you. Here we are. And then this bit's gonna look really cool on its own. And they are slightly varying widths, but roughly they're about 1.25 inches wide. Come on, buddy. Let me start you off. Maybe that'll help. There's the tear. Sometimes you just need a little encouragement. All right, so I've got these, and then let's see if we want any from here. Now, I cut these off earlier from, it was funny because there was a really beautiful print in the middle, and then this was all around the edges, so I took the edges off. Like, see, I want to use some of that. Look at that. Love it. So we'll use some of that too, and I'll just trim it as I go. All right, so let's get to gluing. And again, this is a just piece of packaging paper that I like to save for projects like this. All right, let's get our glue on. I'm gonna put my glue here. And hopefully you can see everything. Let's start with this one. Down here, let me get this bit covered up. That's perfect. And then of course, once it dries, I just come in and I trim off the excess. And this is really cool. So I was trimming that first one that I showed you that I did last night. And this was one of the cutoffs. Look at that, Insta banner. That's fun. So I'm gonna keep it and use it for something. I thought that was really fun. All right. Another thing I was thinking of when I was doing that first one is if you do have, you know, some tissue showing or areas you may want to add color to or change the color, you could definitely take some clear textured gesso. Put a nice layer down, let that dry, and then come in with colored pencils and, you know, do your thing and all that fun stuff. Now, the textured gesso may dull any shiny bits you might have. So what you want to do is you want to, once it's all done, take a gloss gel medium and go over that, and that should bring back that shine. So there you go. More tip. All right, we only got one strip down. Let's get this moving. Yeah, and some of these strips aren't going to be long enough for the paper, but again, just piece it in. Let me see if I can. I like that little bit of blue there. So I'm gonna do that one there. All right, so these have all completely dried. Well, definitely these two. Don't worry, we'll talk about that in a second. These two have dried. I've trimmed them up, and the reason this looks like somebody took a bite out of it is because I didn't realize the craft paper didn't go that far, so I just trimmed that tissue out. It's no biggie. And then on this one, the first one I did, before I made one for you, was I added the clear texture gesso. I did a layer over that, let that dry, and then I came in with some pencil. And if you remember, a lot of this area was lighter, maybe just white paint. So I filled that in with some yellow with using colored pencil. I did the same thing. What's this? Yeah, over here. This is pencil. This pink in here is pencil as well, and I believe some of this along there. But yeah, and I might keep adding, you know, bits here and there, but I like where it is right now. And I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet, but I would like to use this one to work on my August collage prompt for makers, which is find a musical or a song that inspires you that inspires an outfit. I don't have the exact verbiage in front of me. I'll drop it onto my community page so you could see and take part. Basically, design a collage outfit. It doesn't have to be, anything super duper, just have fun with it. But so the challenge is create an outfit that's stage worthy. So if you go to this concert, that's something you would see, whatever music you choose, whatever style, flavor, whatever, mine is zombie, and got inspired by the Lady Gaga song Zombie Boy, and she's got these zombie boy dancers during the song, and I want to try and recreate that a little bit, but obviously put my own stank on it. And so that's why I've got the body, because I'm not good at the drawing. So I think I'm going to cut out a silhouette minus the head, because for the head I'm going to use the skeleton stamp. This is I believe one of 3 styles that's available out there at PM Artist Studio. So there's that, and I think so on the rest of the cardstock, I think I want to actually, the head's gonna go like that, so you're gonna see it. It's gonna be opposite this, right? So I think I want to stamp this out and maybe do some heat embossing in black. So it's like black on black. And then I've got this really cool disco ball stamp from Miriam Art Curious, and I thought this would be fun to do, is to add as well in the background, and then maybe create a background for it. But first I want to work on just cutting out this guy here and seeing how that works, and then I want to cut the outfit from here. Okay, so give this guy a little trim up, because I think that's my last piece of black cardstock, so I just want to make sure I don't muck it up. Since I'm not going to use the head, I'm going to go ahead and decapitate him. And my kind of idea was kind of, with the big skeleton head, but then this smaller body, but then like the shoulders on his outfit come up higher, like maybe the shoulders come up to here and come out that way. And then some funky trousers. I don't know, it's an idea I'm playing with. So I'm just going to put this on here and cut it out on the, and just cut it out by hand. Sorry if you hear that television in the background. It's actually someone who lives downstairs who apparently has a hearing problem. Okay. So I've got plenty left for stamping and whatever else. Slice that off. All right, so I'm just going to attach. I had some double-sided dots and I don't know where they are. I'm just going to use a little bit of glue stick to hold this bad boy in place. And since we're going to go over it with an outfit, you know, with collage. I'm not too stressed about it. So, okay, cool. Got our basic body here. So it would be like this, because that's when you stamp it, you'll see that that's the image you'll get. And then we could do a cool disco ball hanging in the background, because, you know, he's dancing. And then I thought I could maybe create some brick-like work in the background using this stamp. And I apologize, my fingers are filthy because it's the ink from the stamps, and I'm trying to pull some, there's like, you know, fluff on there, and I'm trying to get that off so it doesn't go into anything. That's just ink. Ugh, I get messy. So then, let's go ahead. Let's do this embossing thing. Okay, I think I've got everything I need. Yes, I do need tweezers. Someone suggested these in one of the comments in one of my videos, so I have it now. So thank you for that. Much appreciated. I have my black embossing powder, my embossing ink. Here we go. And then I need to make sure all these little nooks and crannies, you know, the little design areas are nicely covered so that I get a nice, clean impression. All right. Very good. And I'm gonna do my best not to move it around, just press it. Some people use their wooden barons, push it down a little bit. That looks good. I don't know if you can see that in the camera. So I'm gonna get let me trim this off first. It's easier to handle in the small section. Don't you think? Okay. And get that nicely coated. Gonna look so good. Get rid of some of this extra stuff. Normally I'd use the white powder to kind of keep things from sticking, but on the black cardstock, it makes a mess. So I'm going rogue today. The cardstock sucked in some of that embossing powder bit, but I'm not gonna stress. I'm gonna come back in and see if I can add the stamp over again with some more and then beef it up, but I'm gonna let that cool first. And let's do the disco ball, but I'm gonna do the disco ball and I have silver. Pardon me. nice even coating because this stamp has a lot of little lines. Seems to me like that ink is not, I need to add some more of that fluid in there. I have it sitting right here. I should have done it already, but what you gonna do? Well, let's not complain yet. Look at that. That is not too bad. All right. That's what I'm talking about. Now, I want to see if I can bump up this this skull here. Just want to scrape some of this embossing ink into the pad. Let's make it a little juicier. All right, let's give this another go. I'm seeing it's more shiny. So yeah, this pad needed a little bit more juice. Now, hold your breath. Too bad, but we'll see once we lift it. It's a little off, but I think we'll be all right. I think we will be okay. If not, we'll just do another one. See, that gave me a much better coverage. That actually gave it a really cool effect. I don't know if you could see that. Like the 2D kind of thing going on, or I like that. I haven't decided what I want to do for the eyes yet, though. Not sure. So we have our skull, our disco ball. And I need a background is what I need. Give me a second. I'm going to find a background to get all this going on. All right, so I took a few minutes to gather up some other bits, and I also took the time to make little templates out of that same craft paper for the outfit. Pretty simple, and you see what I mean about that, the shoulders. I wanted to make them like tall. And then like the length of the jacket arms are short, and I think the pants will be too. You know, something like that. So what I have to decide is if, like, I want the jacket to open, you know, to look like it's open. So that I got to figure out, but I'm going to cut it first. So for my background, I think I'm going to use this gel print here.
but I know it's gonna be a lot of purple between this and this, so I thought maybe, because this guy's performing on stage, that I wanna use this print and kind of like cut out like a curtain, you know, like on the stage, but just do it for one side. So yeah, I'm gonna, you know what, let me do that first. That'll be the easiest thing. So I kind of want it like to follow these circles here. I'm just gonna start cutting. I think that's the best way to get this did. I'm not gonna futz around because I know what I want. So I'm gonna do a rough cut here. And if I need to trim it, whatever, I'll do that after. Everyone's on their way to work. You can hear the cars whizzing by. I think I cut too far there. I wanted to go this way. All right, so this is what I was thinking. Like this could be like the curtain here. We've got our zombie here, and then maybe our disco light, our disco ball, and then his head here. I don't know. What do you think? We're gonna play with that. That's the idea I'm going with. Oh, you know what I can do actually, really quick, because it has to dry anyway. I want to do these eyes of the skeleton using this color shift paint. Some of that color shift paint is on here as well. So this is a green flash in the color shift. And I'm just gonna take a little bit off the cap here. Lay down some paint, make some cool spooky eyes. And then I'm going to do the nose a little bit. Just kind of give it like the shape of a nose. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Can put that away. Oh, and then I found these. This is modeling paste that I colored with purple paint, and then I put it through the stencil onto, unfortunately, I made a mistake of putting it onto rice paper. So I've had to wet the backs a couple times and kind of get off some of this paper. So I don't know if I'm gonna be using these, but that's an option there. So we got that. Now I'm wondering if I should pull this back a little more and make that one entire piece, right? Kind of create a bigger space. I think that's gonna be my plan, Stan. And here we are. I'm just gonna go ahead and give this a trim, glue that down, and we don't have to worry about it anymore. Because if I don't glue it down, I'm gonna change my mind. And that's what gets me in trouble sometimes. So I'm not gonna do that. Okay. bring it out to there. Set it to the top so it matches the top here. And then I can just trim the bottom off here. Okay. Where is my glitter glue? Here we go. That should do it. Paper towel, clean that up. Oops. See, Eddie, you're going too fast. All right, there we go. A little surgery there. I think I'm just gonna trim this a little bit out. Come on. There we go. I'm just gonna make sure I get this side here. Get my cutting board or cutting mat here so I can trim off that bit at the bottom. Let me just make sure I get this even. Not good to cut when it's wet, but that's okay. Yeah, see, I tore it. Because I'm a dingleberry. All right, I'm not gonna worry about that just right now. I may just work it into the look. Good. Unless we put the disco ball down here as like it's come crashing down because the party's just been so wild. That's an idea. Good way to cover the boo-boo, but first I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna trim up the outfit pieces, and I think I'm gonna make them a little bit bigger than what I cut out, and then I can just trim them up if I need to. So let's see how it's gonna kind of look. Kind of like, yeah. So I want some with green to kind of pull in the edge of this part here, right? That's the same green as this, if I remember correctly. All right, so up here, I'm gonna cut this. This is gonna be my jacket. Let me just remember to make it a little bit bigger than what I have already, because then I can trim it back. It's harder to add on, right? at that. Look at that. That's such a good line. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut that a little bit bigger. Now we've got pantalones. We need the pants. Maybe do the pants down here. Okay. So we'll do the pants. Kind of want to make the bottoms not too like straight. I'll do the tie last. Not bad so far. I just got to figure out how I'm going to do the opening. So, to open it. Where it doesn't have to completely open, you know, just say his jacket is buttoned. What do we think of that? And then a suit jacket would have lapels, sort of like that. And then I can maybe use some of this green here from the rest of that print to make the lapels. All right, that's an idea. All right, so let me go ahead and give this a little trimmy boo. I just want to kind of curve this in. Here, so we've got the shoulders up high, jacket there, and let's do lapels. So it's gonna be basically just trying to copy them here. So pretty good. Okay. Freestyle tailoring. Yeah, I'm gonna trim these a little bit bigger just in case. Let's see how they look. Let's see here. So we'll put this one here. Like this. Like I want it more. Yeah, like that. So I might have to like glue it a little over that opening and then just trim the excess out from behind. And same with this. Maybe overlap it so that kind of looks like it's supposed to be there. was trim the jacket, right? Just gonna do this slightly different. So maybe just to see how it would look if I made them a little bit longer so they come down a little more. Remembering correctly from my suit wearing days. So I shouldn't curve it that much. I really kind of have to make it more straight. Or I can do that one like that and then do another one. Not curve it. Let me not curve it so much. And just see what I can get away with here. So if I just fix the top there, I can do something fun like that. So let me see if I can match these. See, I could do that one on that side. This one on this side, because that kind of looks better. Let me see what I can do about this here. So if that goes like that, I can kind of okay, I think we got a jacket. Now, do we do cuffs? And then for the tie, what should we use for the tie? I think I'm gonna use this for the tie. Maybe something like this where it's darker. Okay, so if I come in with the tie here, pencil, here we are. I hope I'm getting all this on frame, or in frame as they say. out a little bit. It's too close. So I could actually make it a little bit shorter. Oops. Maybe a little bit thinner. Eek. Okay, come on. Don't get all funky. So the necktie will go about there. This will go about here. I think the jacket needs to come up a little bit more. Maybe do a little jaggedy edge kind of thing. So it's not so perfectly straight. Got a little opening here. It almost matches the legs exactly. All right, cool. Now wait, we forget Eddie. It's got to go a little higher. All right, so we're gonna go higher. Sleeves. All right, now let's cut out the trousers. Whoops, 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 whoops. I want to see this template. Definitely shorter, so I'm gonna start here. And then I can shorten the legs as necessary. Where did I put my tie? Is it there? There it is. Just don't want to lose any of my elements. Cool. I just got to bring in the sides of the pants. Rock and roll, rock and roll. And then I'm going to trim this leg just a little bit. And then where do we want the legs? I'll just do, if I could rip this and have the torn leg. Sweet. All right, okay, so I'm just gonna glue some of these things down and you can watch.
Okay, so we got it. I got it to this point here. I think it looks pretty good. And the only thing I'm wondering is, I have some of these, this lift tape sort of, I forgot what it's called, but anyway, what if we pop it on one of those, on some of that, and give it some dimension? I think that would be pretty cool. And then where's our disco ball here? So maybe we move you a little bit over. He's looking up at the disco ball. I like it. I think that's good. I think that is exactly what I want. I am gonna put some of this tape on here, just so it stands up a little bit. Make it more dimensional. Oops, don't want to show. Go ahead and install my disco ball. Oops. And I haven't found a string to go on it, so I'm gonna have to find something eventually, but for now it's gonna stay that way. Now, I just want to get the head positioned, and then I want to add some details to the outfit. So I think there would be good, right? Okay, so. We will get this done. Cut this one down the middle, and you can do either side of the head. The skull. Maybe a little bit at the top too, just to be safe. Let's see if I can pull this off with these. Might make it easier. Don't put your fingers in the sticky stuff, Eddie. Keep it away, keep it away. Here we go. Oh boy. Still get the outfit under here. Just, you know what? I'm gonna cut this neck down. Oops, didn't mean to trim you there, but
Yeah. I am loving that. I'm not really gonna glue this down too much. Just in, you know, the right areas. But I need my gold pen. Okay, found it. Much better. All right. Looking pretty snazzy there, buddy. Let's get some lines on here. Looky, looky. It's done. I think that's pretty cool. I am no collage expert, but I think it's fun. I think it's a lot of fun. All right, let's glue this down. I think for this, I'm just, let me see. I think here definitely, because these are gonna come up. Don't want that to come up. Yeah, these definitely need to be glued because you don't want those edges popping up. Come on, glue. Always give me a hard time. Now, the trick is to get it up under the chin or the skull. I think, yeah. You know, the shoulders could be bigger, but it's done. This needs a little bit of glue there. I think that is pretty freaking cool. This is my zombie boy. Paper doll collage. Oh, guys, thanks for joining me for this little adventure. And all the details for the collage prompt will be on my community page. And then there's a link to Makers in the description box to the video. That's the Makers Facebook group run by PM Artist Studio, the makers of mixed media art and artists. Sign up to join the group. It's a private group. And once you're in the group, there's a featured section at the top of the main page. And that is where all the events are listed, including the collage prompt. So you get all the details there as well. And it's a great place to post. And there's a hashtag that goes with it, which is hashtag Makers Collage Prompt, AUG for August, 25 for the year. So I'll have all that info in the description box of the video. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.